Furious Driving, proud to be supported by Diamond Bright, protecting, cleaning and caring for the Furious fleet and for yours with 10% off using code FD10. Follow the links in the description below. Hello and welcome to Furious Driving, and you join me here in a field with our newest friend, the Alfa 159 2.4 JTDM Broken Edition, which obviously doesn't run yet, but hopefully maybe towards the end of this episode we'll be a little bit closer to that actually happening. Now, you saw in the previous episode the car had jumped a tooth on the timing belt and that had damaged the engine timing gear, so we needed to get the top of the engine off. However, couldn't do that because the diesel injectors were well and truly wedged, and I mean wedged. Hello and welcome to Furious Driving, and I'm back in the countryside with my new Alfa 159. These have now been soaking in Bulldog for overnight basically. Normally what you do in this situation is run the engine until it's really good and hot and everything kind of just loosens up and is freer that way. That's not an option in this case, so basically it's wiggling and soaking until they come free, which could take quite a while unfortunately, but we will persevere. So the things I'm doing to try and free this off is, first of all, it's soaking in a bath of all lubricant penetrating oil to try and get down the sides of these things, which are notoriously hard to get out. There is a guy around here who actually does nothing but goes around and extracts diesel injectors for main dealers because they can't get them out. So I'm soaking it in penetrating fluid. It might take another day or so of soaking to actually get the things free. Working them with a little wiggle with the breaker bar to try and let that seep down there a little bit more and break the seal. Also with the drift, there's a hard point on the body where you can tap it left and right to try and get a bit of rotational movement in there. Unfortunately, because it's soaking in a bath of Bulldog penetrating oil, every time I tap it with the drift and the hammer, I'm getting a shower of Bulldog in the face, which is not ideal. And to make matters worse, there's virtually nowhere to put your cup of coffee in this engine bay. Who designed this thing? Right, I've been at this for about 2 hours now, and all I've got to show for it is a bruised hand, a scratched arm and a face full of Bulldog. I'm going to take a break for a coffee, some crisps and 10 to the top. It's another day! We've come back again in a different car on a different day. We've been soaking these things in, well, Bulldog for about 36 hours now, and I can now get a little bit of a wiggle but no actual extraction yet. So I've now taken the step of reading the comments, in fact, and someone suggested this liquid moly injector and glow plug dismantling aid. So it's currently, having soaked up all of the penetrating oil, which was doing something but it wasn't dissolving the carbon deposits, I've soaked it in this, and it's just to leave it for half an hour or so, so hopefully after half an hour we might stand a better chance. Now, while we're standing out here getting dirty and rat infested, don't forget the NEC Classic Car Show is only a couple of weeks away. And if you want to get tickets to that, head to the NEC website and use code FURIOUS2 for £2 off per ticket. Or if you want to try and win a pair of tickets for that show, then email me at shop@furiousdriving.co.uk and tell me what car did I recently discover a horrific amount of rust in unexpectedly. Back to the Alfa. Wedged. I spent about a week or so dousing them, which made no difference whatsoever. I was trying to wiggle them to try and get them to break free. I was using the clory prong things to lift them up. One night I was actually here, because I was coming here every single evening after work to work on this and getting nowhere with it. I was wrenching, pivoting, it slipped off, I flew backwards, I literally did a reverse roly-poly head over heels. Thankfully it's on grass, otherwise I would have cracked my head on the floor and probably wound up in A&E. I nearly lost a tooth a couple of times, at which point I said, no, I can't do that anymore. I'm going to get a specialist in. There's a guy called Mark who locally goes around, does nothing but diesel injectors. He's got a diesel injector workshop and he does mobile diesel injector removal. And he is so in demand. It took nearly 2 weeks for him to be able to get a slot and come around and do this. So that's why you haven't seen the car for a couple of weeks, because I've been waiting on Mark to come around and release the diesel injectors. And even with his specialist tools and clever tricks, judging by the bill, it must have taken him 2.5 to 3 hours to get these things out. Incidentally, in doing so, 2 of the studs that hold the things into the engine snapped, and 1 of the retaining clamps broke as well. So it was a fight. And also, looking at the state of these things, God, which are actually gluing themselves back in again, these are not pretty. That is well and truly caked. It looks like it's been taken up from the seabed. He also said in his notes about what he'd done that the injectors had to be taken up. You can unbolt them here at the top, and a common technique is to use this screw thread as a thing to work from. And you can see, I don't know if that's my claw marks or his claw marks, how much of an effort it was to get these things apart. He is obviously a diesel injector specialist, so he wouldn't have just thrown them back together, he knows what he's doing. But he did advise having these properly tested before refitting and potentially even replacing. So whilst I'm doing the engine part, I will drop these down to him in his workshop and get him to do a clean-up and inspection. It may well wind up we've got to replace all 5 of them, so we'll see how we go. Hopefully we won't. Hopefully they survived the endeavour of taking them out. But it's not all good news, because I came to open the car today and you can see from the freshness of it, we've had a friend in the night. I won't do a close-up right now, I'll grab the camera and do that in a minute. There's fresh rat droppings here. There's never been rat droppings in this car before, but last night it was frosty and I think a rat came up under here and tried to get a bit of shelter, and there's fresh rat poo underneath here, which I'm not happy to see. So yeah, that's I'm wearing gloves just to do the intro. But what I'm going to do today is make an early start on taking things apart, and hopefully the rats will not be interested in any of the wiring, because rats destroy cars by doing that. I'm going to go and get some rat poison and some traps and lay them around the car and hopefully deter them from that. But in the meantime though, I am going to start taking things off here because we need to get this thing stripped down. Yuck and yuck and yuck some more. Gonna have to sanitise the entire car now. So next thing I'm going to have to be doing is sanitising all of my tools before I do anything else, because disgusting creatures. Right, okay, so let's start taking bolts out. Now, is this going to be the 9mm I dropped down the front of the engine the other day? That was loose already, fine. So this is a bit like, well, doing anything else. You sort of work your way around it, you slacken off in order. I need an extension bar, hang on. I was about to go and spray a bunch of disinfectant, hand sanitizer, across the engine bay to kind of kill any rat bugs. Unfortunately, I did Google it first. Turns out, not so much they like the smell of it, but it makes them hungry, possibly to get the taste off their fur. And so if you spray it on, they actually chew more. So if I did sanitise the engine for my own protection, I could wind up even more chewed wires. Hopefully than none that I've got now. I'm hoping it's none. Oh wow, he's really bent that one. That stud under there. Could barely get a spanner onto it. Or socket, whatever you want to call it. That one, at the front, I don't know if I need to undo this one or not, but it took a wrench and a half to get it undone. But interestingly, whereas everything else is, oh, I can't remember, I think it's a 12 or a 13, this is a 15. Oh! Well, I hope that wasn't important. Because it's down there now. Must remember that later on. Don't forget to get that 15mm back there. Yay! Right, now what else do I need? So over here on the end, I have got some kind of controller which has got a pipe going to it. This pipe is free. That there is, I don't know if that's a cable. That needs to come off. That's a pipe, not a cable. With like a release fitting on it. Okay, that needs to come undone. Did I bring a flat blade screwdriver with me? I'm not sure I did, because that needs to clip off. Okay, then there's a little connection down there. Okay. Right, I'm back. Now, I did miss a day of trappage because I bought a trap and it was defective. I had to go back and get another one, but nothing has taken the bait last night, and nothing's gone into the trap that's underneath there either. But there's no fresh droppings either. I have to say though, I did throw away the big bag of rags that I've been using in the engine, and that was collecting rat pee. They were standing there to pee in it, disgusting creatures. And I also left the bonnet chucked slightly open so it wasn't as welcoming and commodious. Now I need to crack on and do a bit more work on this thing. So bolts are out, everything's ready to go. Now normally at this point, what you should have done already would be to jack the engine up and support it from underneath, take off the engine mount, and then slacken off the tensioner on the timing belt, and then remove the timing belt. However, that's not what we're going to do today, because it's already jumped, it's already out of time. It doesn't matter what we do at this point. And also lots of stuff is ready, and we are on very, very squishy ground, especially following all the rain. So, the thing we're going to do today is basically cut that to get rid of it. So just get rid of the timing belt completely with a knife, because it doesn't matter. Then we can lift this off. The thing I didn't mention previously, because I kind of forgot, is that this thing, this head rocker cover thing, actually is a rocker carrier rather than just a rocker cover. So it's got the camshafts built into it. These are part of it. Right, let's do this the easy / hard way. The engine needs to be retimed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Normally what you'd be doing at this point is making sure that everything is perfectly timed and there's no chance of it going out of alignment. But as it's already too late for all that kind of business, it doesn't really matter anymore. And I'm not going to jack up the engine or the car in a wet muddy field. So there's a bolt on the end of there I need to get undone. You can't see because it's hidden. So just whipping off the power steering reservoir, because that bolt I need to get off is just behind it there. This is a couple of, what's this, 10mm bolts. Unfortunately, I didn't bring an extension socket with me, extension bar with me for the socket. We're really, really handy right now. And do you know what? I don't mind a bit of good clean dirt on a car engine. Don't mind getting stuck into that. But having had the rat in here, I feel really unhappy touching stuff. It's really taking the fun out of this. I'm even more than before looking forward to detailing the thing though. There we go, that's the bolt we've got to take out. Ta-da! This needs to come out. It's straight into the end of there for some reason they did that. Now why is this not moving? I realise that there must be more that has to come out because it's not moving even slightly. However, I can't see what that would be. Let's put that back in. Don't do that. Do these need to come out? The these all preheater thingy-majigs. Do they need to come out first? Oh, good question. Because I can't see anything else apart from pipes at that end that's holding it in place. Do I just need to hit it with a mallet or something? Why won't you come undone? And again. Right, okay. Doing a bit more digging and checking. There's a couple of bolts here that hold this water pipe here on the front that need to come undone. I've got to undo this oil pipe just here. That just unclips. What else do I need to do? Fuel line just there. And what else is it? Oh, this big metal aluminium pipe here just needs to come off with a couple of Allen key bolts. Then we're virtually there. But what is surprising is how little give there is. I would imagine, I was expecting a certain amount of movement in it at this point, but there is absolutely none. Those are really hard to get to. I think I need a spanner. Oh, 10 to the top, hang on. Beastie Boys. That's longer than I expected. Liverpool. Oh, no. It's one of those bolts where you start undoing it and you realise that as you undo it, it traps the spanner. No! I can see this one. Can I? No! Son of a... I think I put the magnetic pickup tool in here because of this very problem. Bear with. Yeah. I'll give that a quick squirt with some brake and clutch cleaner just to sanitise it. Got it. That one is a stud and a nut rather than a bolt. Don't know why. High pressure fuel disconnected. It really would be good if I happened to have my hex key sockets with me, but of course I don't. The thing I don't like about doing mobile work out in fields and things is you never have the thing you need. There was something that would have been really handy, which is why I didn't want to go and do the Rover 75 head gasket up at Stone Cold, because you know I'd drive 2 hours up there and discover I'd forgotten something. At least with this, it's only a few minutes up the road from home, so when I get stuck or forget something, I can head back and come back again tomorrow. Not the end of the world. I didn't think I was going to get that one. Ooh, oily. Mental note, bring a roll of blue roll up here with me next time. Well, that's free. That's a throttle body going in there. That is off. Okay, so I think those are out, pipes are off, fuel injection thingy is off. Brackets are undone. That bracket there could be undone as well. Okay, it should be there, but I don't know why. It's got no movement at all in it. Why have I got no movement? I'm not sure I need to undo these brackets for this hard line, but I'd rather have them loose and not snag anything. That should be moving now. Why aren't we moving? I've checked numerous guides. Alfa Workshop do a really good guide. I've spoken to my friend Jamie at Go Italia. He's sort of taught me through what I need to do as well. But it's just not budging, and I don't know why. Bear with, I'm going to go find a breaker bar and just gently try and tease it out. Fortunately, because I've been trying to get those injectors out, I've got a dearth of breaker bars around here. Right, so I'm not quite sure where is a good place to lever this thing on, but let's see what we can do. There is nowhere that's a good place to lever this string. Obviously, it's all aluminium, so I don't want to break anything. Great. No, it does not want to move. I wonder if someone's really kind of gunked this thing down with an absolute ton of RTV or something in the past, which they shouldn't have done. Now, I don't know if this is just a me thing or if it happens to everybody, but it seems that I'm cursed with anything that should be a nice simple 5-minute job is never a nice simple 5-minute job. At this point, everything should be lifting off. It should just be a clean, easy, not even a tap of anything. But currently, I can find like a solid point on here to batter. Use one of these casting points. I've got no movement in any direction. It does not want to wobble, it doesn't want to move. Can't find anything to, well, there's nothing to lever on because everything is flexible and delicate compared to the engine. The only thing that would really do it would be to get like an engine crane and try and hoik this thing out. But you can't put an engine crane on here because it's all muddy. Now if I drag it somewhere else where it's not muddy, getting it back again is going to be a pain. This car is starting to be a problem. Right, I've tried violence, I've tried extreme pressure, I've wedged it as hard as I can, I've borrowed a great big breaker bar thing, didn't work. I'm going to try heat now. Because I only need a little area to go. I'm a bit worried that some of the stuff that I've been pouring on here is going to catch fire. At least we're out in the open. And if it does go, then problem solved. I'm very cautious though. I don't melt anything, burn anything. Just want to get this bit, any bit of gasket that gives up its seal, then I'm in. And I've got a bit of leverage in this area here, so I'll try and warm this area here up. This is more than a little bit frustrating. I mean, it feels like it's been kind of glued on with like the strongest silicon seal possible, but the chances are it's just where it's been sat for so long, it's now kind of just welded itself tight. I don't know, bigger hammer, more heat. This aluminium does not hold heat at all. It's already, it's not even lukewarm after just a minute or two, or even less than a minute or two. Right, so here's the thing, I am at this point completely banjaxed. I don't know what to do. Heat, pressure, thumping, the usual fallbacks don't want to work. I can't bring power out here because I'm in a field, so I can't use the heat extraction tool to try and warm up areas of it and pull it out that way. There's only limited places I can hit it with a hammer without shattering the aluminium casting, and I can't really put pressure on it for the same reason in many places because everything is bendy and flexible and it's going to break. So I'm kind of at a loss as what to do. I'm also at a loss as to whether to put the video out now and invite suggestions for solutions, or to try to fix this and then put a bigger video out with like a completed bit in a few days time or a week or whenever. But people are already asking in the comments when the next one of these videos is coming out, so I kind of think I'm going to have to put something out so people know why there's not been a video, because this is an easy job. You should be able to do this in an afternoon, not 3 weeks. Such is my life. I'm probably in the wrong job, because everything I ever tackle always seems to take 3 weeks instead of half an hour. So ideally as a YouTuber you want to be getting a job in, turning it around, getting a video, bosh, onto the next one, not sitting on a simple task like this for a month. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, well, I probably will put this out tonight just so anyone can offer an idea. I mean, bigger hammer, bigger lump of wood, whack it some more, get a really big blowtorch, hit it with lots of blowtorches at once, get the whole thing red hot. I don't know. Or just go and get a second-hand engine, because lots of these 159s are being scrapped for rust now. And yeah, so maybe just take that route. Forget trying to fix this engine, get a second-hand motor and swap it over. I've already got a new cam belt kit for it, so that'll be an easy thing just to get a new engine ready to go and just dump it in and out. It's halfway stripped as it is, so we're almost there anyway, so it almost makes sense to do that. Just drag it to some hard standing, bring an engine crane over, have that done in 3 weeks as well. If you've got a solution, let me know, otherwise I'm going to be hitting eBay for a new 2.4. Thank you for watching. As always, like and indeed subscribe. And if you want to come and see me, Ian and Steph from iDriver Classic and Hubnut in person, we'll be at the NEC Classic Car Show in November, only about 3 weeks away. And if you use code FURIOUS2 at the NEC checkout, you get £2 off per ticket, or there's a competition to win a pair of tickets. Email me at shop@furiousdriving.co.uk and tell me which of my cars did I recently discover a horrific amount of rust in. You're in with a shot to win a pair of tickets for that show as well. Anyway, thank you for watching. Maybe we'll fix this next time. We'll see. Maybe we won't. And don't forget, now while we're working out here in the dirt, don't forget there is a competition and a... Now while we're standing out here getting dirty and rat infested, don't forget the NEC Classic Car Show is only a couple of weeks away. And if you want to get tickets to that, head over to the NEC show. And if you want to get tickets to that, head to the NEC website and use code FURIOUS2 for £2 off per ticket. Or if you want to try and win a pair of tickets for that show, then email me at shop@furiousdriving.co.uk and tell me what car did I recently discover a horrific amount of rust in unexpectedly. Back to the Alfa.